the pandemic. And as a result, the university has decided to take the bull by the horn. In order to continue with this academic discourse. And as such, has decided to hold inaugural lectures virtually. As I said, the inaugural lecture committee for this epoch-making event today. And we believe it will be successful, and other professors who have not given their inaugural lectures will key in. Today's lecture is to be delivered by a renowned professor of education, management, and policy, Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu. And she has chosen a topic that is very apt with respect to the administration of schools. Professor Nkechi will be talking to us on the management of schools in Nigeria with respect to improvement or development in the 21st century. Let us listen to Nkechi, and we shall learn from the horse's mouth. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor, Nkechi University, Professor Charles Okechukwu Esimone, SOS, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor J.C. I will now call Professor V. Omo to make a very short introduction of our inaugural lecturer for today. Professor Vivian Omo, please.
Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor, sir, and Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a unique pleasure to stand before you this day to present a citation on an intellectual colossus of our time, Professor Princess Nkechi Perpetual Mary Magdalene Ikediugwu, New Ojuro. After having gone through the curriculum vitae of Professor Nkechi Perpetual Ikediugwu, New Ojuro, I was compelled to title this citation Emerging History of Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu. Why so? I call it a history, emerging history, because Professor Ikediugwu is making history, and his history is still in the making. This is because also I lack words either in the English language or Igbo language to explain to us who this lady standing before us is, what she can do, and how she takes life to be. But be it as it may, I have tried to give us a little about the life of Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu. This great professor was born on September 1964 to a family of His Royal Highness PMC Ojuro in Ondo State. Her academic journey started from Holy Rosary Primary School in 1970. She attended secondary school from 1975 to 1980. She also attended Teachers Training College in Sube, where she did a one-year crash program. She also attended College of Education, Abraka, from 1981 to 1984. As you can see, this lady is really an educationist. She also obtained her bachelor's degree in education in 1991 from University of Nigeria in Nsukka. And also, she obtained her master's degree, still in educational administration and planning, from the same university. She then did her PhD in educational administration and supervision in ESU, Enugu State University of Technology, in 1996, and she was the first PhD student to be produced by the great university. Professor Ikediugwu was employed as a lecturer too in ESU. Immediately she finished. She also served in many capacities in that university. She served as a course coordinator, student advisor, department curriculum committee chairman. She was also appointed as executive chairman of Anambra State Education Commission in 2000, meaning to say that her achievement is not just in the university. She also served the state government of Anambra State. And during her time, she was also the first woman to have held the position of a chairman, an executive chairman. That is also another great achievement. When she was serving as the chairman of Anambra State Education Commission, she introduced a lot of innovations in Anambra State secondary schools. And then all through her tenure, there are so many things that were accomplished. These are too many to be mentioned here. Professor Ikediugwu taught in many secondary schools, namely University of Nigeria, Enugu campus. She also served in Enugu State University of Science and Technology. She also served as a visiting lecturer in Imo State University. Currently, she's a lecturer in the Department of Educational Management and Policy, Faculty of Education, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. She also did her sabbatical in Ebonyi State, where she did a lot of things. She contributed so much. So that is to say that this erudite professor is not just beautiful, she's also full of intelligence and an accomplished woman. In academic qualities or leadership qualities, Professor Ikediugwu excelled in the following positions. She has served as editor-in-chief, Journal of Educational Management and Policy from 2008 to 2011. She also was a panelist in our accreditation team to evaluate undergraduate degree program in education of Olabisi Olabanjo University, Ago-Iwoye, Ogun State, in 2010. She was also an ad hoc member, a member of accreditation panel to also evaluate undergraduate degree program in education at Nsugbe, Anambra State, in 2011. She was also a member to the Media Institution Accreditation Team to Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in also 2011. She has served as external examiner in various or so many universities, including University of Nigeria, Nsukka, University of Jos, University of Benin. That is also another great one. She also held so many positions. She served as chairman, Awka Diocesan Education Board, chairman, Enugu Diocesan Education Board, head of Department Educational Management and Policy, Nnamdi Azikiwe University from 2008 to 2011. She was also a member board of trustees, Center for Innovation and Creativity. She was chairman, New Nigeria Youth Foundation, desk officer, Teachers Registration Council. She was also the grand patron for West Wind Organization. There are so many things that if I go on here, we will not be able to do it today. Professor Ikediugwu has also received many awards, among which include Outstanding Performance Award by the Faculty of Education, University of Nigeria, Nsukka in 1997. She's also received the Merit Award for the Promotion of Education by students of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, in 2000. She's a Fellow Institute of Corporate Administration. She also received the award as a Distinguished Functional Educationist for the Education of Excellence in Formal Education by the Faculty of Education, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Enugu, in 2001. She also received Special Merit Award by Metu Old Boys Association for outstanding leadership qualities in the administration and management of secondary schools in Anambra State in 2001. Honestly, like I said, there are so many things that she has won, so many awards she won for herself. Vocational Service Award by Rotary International District 9140 in recognition of excellent performance towards youth development in 2003. She also received the award of Women of Quality Leadership Award by Rotary Inner Wheel Club in 2011. She also received Hero to Hero Virtue Award from medical students now at Azikiwe University, Newe campus. There are so many that I hope to stop here. Apart from receiving award in the academic, in the universities or academics that are related to educational accomplishments, she also received some religious to traditional awards, among which include Lady of St. Paul, KSP by Anglican Communion Oka, Adife by Catholic Women Organization St. Andrew's Catholic Church, Asia Anambra State. She's also Aduku by Asia Community, Anambra State. Women of Fettel by Enugu Diocese. Daughter of Vine Yard by St. Stephen Church, Imola. Professor Ikediugwu is happily married to Sir Dr. Eddie Ikediugwu, and they are blessed with many lovely and successful children. She's also a grandmother, a digital queen. She has graduated 35 PhD students, 20 from UNICEF and 15 from ISLE. She has 50 master's degree students and over 200 undergraduate students. Professor Ikediugwu is an accomplished educationist, a happily married woman. She has well over 180 publications to her credit, both nationally, locally, nationally, and internationally. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to introduce to you this erudite professor, Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu, this afternoon to present the 56th Inaugural Lecture. Thank you very much.
Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Charles Esimone, ably represented by DVC Academics, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Academic and Administration, members of the University Council, principal officers of the university, professors of the university, deans of faculties, directors and heads of departments, distinguished academic and professional colleagues from other universities, my Lord spiritual and temporal, royal fathers, captains of industry, my mentors and mentees, family members and friends all over Nigeria, all over the world, members of the 4th Estate of the Realm, distinguished guests of the university, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I warmly welcome you to this August event. It is indeed a privilege to be given the opportunity to deliver the 56th Inaugural Lecture of this prestigious university. It is also an honor to be a part of the vision of the university to continue the tradition of inaugural lecture. Thank you, my Vice Chancellor, sir, for the approval of my request. With great pleasure and humility, therefore, I stand before this highly esteemed assembly to deliver my inaugural lecture. Past inaugural lectures have tried to define inaugural lecture, but I shall only summarize. Inaugural lecture is an opportunity for a newly promoted or appointed professor to inform colleagues, the university community, and the general public of his or her contributions to the world of knowledge through research and other academic activities in his area of specialization. 2, it gives the lecturer an opportunity to declare his or her future plans. It introduces a new professor to mark a fresh impetus of a deeply mature scholarship and productivity. It's a way of giving something back to the university that has promoted the professor. When should a professor deliver her inaugural lecture? It is generally believed that an inaugural lecture is a debt a professor owes to the university community. Professors are usually required to give their inaugural lecture within 12 months of their appointments. In contrast, in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the period for delivering an inaugural lecture could stretch for decades. Sometimes it is not given at all, as many of my colleagues here could attest to that. An inaugural lecture provides a forum to showcase, rejoice, and celebrate a new professor. For the new professor, it is an opportunity to tell his story, showcase herself or himself, his works, by presenting an overview of his or her research, the contributions made to knowledge, the challenges and problems encountered, and strategies and solutions provided to solve these challenges. It is an opportunity to update colleagues on the current trend in one's area and future directions. Today, I thank the Almighty God, who alone has given me this opportunity to stand before this great assembly to deliver my inaugural lecture after becoming a professor. May God's name be praised. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the theme of my inaugural lecture is School Management in Nigeria, Charting New Directions for School Management in the 21st Century. My academic background. Solid foundation is paramount to every building. I was born into a family of scholars. My mother was a teacher even before she got married. My father was a traditional ruler, the first traditional ruler of my place. So I'm a princess by birth. As a child, my mother was always drumming it in my ears that she wanted me to be a bigger teacher. Then I normally ask her, which one is bigger teacher? She will explain that bigger teachers are those who teach in the universities. My father always supported her by showering praises on highly educated ladies of their time and always encouraged me to supersede them. This spurred me on to start reading early in life. There was always a gift for any of their children who got the first position in the class. I maintained first position throughout my primary school days at Holy Rosary School, Feke Onitsha. My mother, Miss, as we fondly called her, loved academic excellence. And she made sure that all assignments given to us in school were done and in time too. Each time I was on top of the class, my father went to bookshops to buy me storybooks, took time to write something on them, and had done them with his signature. Thereafter, he asked my mother to append her own signature as well. Called a family meeting where he presented the books to me, but not before he had made everyone give me a standing ovation. Of course, this made me very proud. And see how pleased everybody was with me. It further motivated me to work harder. My teacher in primary 5, especially Miss Rose, helped in molding me in preparation for academic journey ahead. Miss Rose always encouraged me not to allow any people take my first position. Of course, I always looked forward to the celebration given to me by my parents and my siblings to study hard and always kept first in the class and not to be beaten by any other people. I did not realize that I was only launching myself into the path of individual effort in private study a fact that has continued to help me till date. I learned from the primary school that to be successful, one needed to be determined, hardworking, and persevering. When I gained admission into secondary school, I just applied what I learned. Let me go to my research. From the first day I joined Enugu State University of Science and Technology, I learned from my senior colleagues, Professor Ndwanya, Professor Chok, Professor Nyahabo, that the easiest way to become a professor is through research. I quickly collected the requirements that I needed to become a professor and immediately started pursuing them. When I was invited in year 2000 by Governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chumoke Mbajiri, to a political appointment, I initially refused because it will hinder me from being a professor at the right time. After consulting with my senior colleagues, I was advised to accept the offer, but I should continue carrying out my research work while still there. I thank God that I took that advice, because the appointment as the first female chairman of State Education Commission exposed me to the practicability of my profession. All the years I served as an executive chairman, Anambra State Education afforded me an opportunity to practice those things that I read in the university. I did not relent, but continued my research work. In 2005, I joined the services of this great university and continued with my research. To the glory of God, in 2008, I was promoted to the position of professor in the area of educational management. In this inaugural lecture, an effort will be made to address the following issues. What is school management? Management of human resources, staff and students, management of material resources, school plan management, management of curriculum, management of change, management of conflict, management of close from team management, decision making, promoting quality school management, symptoms and consequences of dysfunctional management, myths about school management, charting new directions for school management in the 21st century, challenges facing school management, and recommendations. I want to say clearly that school management in every area of life, both in primary, both in secondary, both in tertiary, are basically the same. We manage the same thing. We manage human beings, we manage resources, we manage everything manageable. If you are a principal, you do exactly the same job a vice chancellor is doing. If you're a head teacher, you do exactly what a primary school teacher, nursery is doing. But the categories are different and higher in universities. So when we are talking of school management, we are looking broader, in a global way, what school management is all about. I'm going to talk about what we do in school management. There are so many things we do. I will say what we do now and how to improve on it, charting new directions. And I will also point out where we make mistakes in school management. Areas, what we do now, management of human resources. These human resources include staff and students. And there are so many things we do when we manage staff and students. This management of staff includes so many things. It includes training the staff, recruiting the staff, promoting the staff, appraising the staff, disciplining the staff, evaluating the staff, making sure that the staff behaves the way it should behave. And when we are managing students, it includes disciplining the students, first of all, admitting the students in the school, disciplining them, placing them where they are supposed to be, giving them an exam, making sure that they pass, teaching them very well, and also molding their character, so that whenever they finish, they will come out better citizens. that is managing the students. Then when we come to management of resources, we manage so many resources. One of the basic resources we manage is school plants. When we talk of school plants, we are talking of school sites, building, equipment, machinery, furniture, vehicles, books, electrical infrastructure, water supply, and accessories. We manage these things and make sure they're functional. We also manage financial resources. Financial management is concerned with strategic financial decision within an organization. As a manager, as a school manager, you are saddled with the responsibility of making sure you have funds. In today, we don't leave a resource, sourcing for funds from only the government. You as a manager should make sure you source funds. We have internal sources, we have external sources, we have foreign sources. You have to explore all these areas to make sure you have funds to run the university, to run your school. We also manage curriculum. Curriculum is a structural series of intended learning experiences provided and directed by school to achieve predetermined goals. Ensuring good learning programs for students, providing instructional leadership for students, carrying out detailed supervision, working with teachers to establish instructional objectives, developing curriculum, bulletin and course guide with teachers, planning continuous program of development, developing regular curriculum evaluation, introducing curriculum innovation from time to time. We also manage change and we introduce innovations. And as a manager, it is very important that you introduce innovations from time to time. We have so many changes we can do: routine change, improvement change, innovative change, revolutionary change. We also manage conflicts. In school system, we have so many types of conflicts. Conflicts between teacher and the head teacher, between staff themselves, between students themselves. So you, as a manager, should learn how to manage these conflicts. And it is important you bring out causes of these conflicts. When you bring out the causes of this conflict in your school system, you should be able to handle them. Some of the causes I would like to highlight here are breakdown in communication, lack of accountability in organization, misunderstanding of information, lack of needed resources, incompetency of those handling affairs of the organization, disunity in the organization, gossip, greed, poor personality of those in authority, insubordination. These are some of the causes of conflicts we have in our school system. And we have strategies to manage these conflicts. They include discussion, accommodation, avoidance, collaboration, compromising, withdrawal, boxing the problem. We also manage workload. Workload is the management of worker skill, images. Ways of managing workload by school administrators are many. 1, teams through group management. We also manage decisions. Not all decisions are okay. At times, decisions we make may promote or mar the institutions. As an administrator, you should know how to manage your decision. We manage quality in our schools. Quality management is also very important. And we have both internal quality measures, we have external quality measures, and we have strategies to promote quality in our schools. So you can see, these are so many, school management is so broad, it's so vast. There are so many things to manage in school management. There are so many things to do in school management. And if I continue to say it, I cannot finish this work. And I was given only 45 minutes. But there are things that are important I should mention. Dysfunctional school management. There are things you should not do in school management. Symptoms of dysfunctional school management. There are things you will see in a school. You will know that that school is not properly managed. One of them is unacceptable delays. If you go to a school and you're asking for a record, from morning till night that I am still looking for that record, it's a dysfunctional school. It's not a proper school. Difficulty in retrieving information. There are schools we go to get information. It becomes so difficult. At times it's not even seen. Somebody sent me something yesterday that 4,200 certificates at University of Calabar that they were not collected. And I was wondering, what type of school is that? 4,200 not collected. Where are the owners? Lack of authority necessary to perform the duties of a particular job. Is there another sign that that school is not being managed? It's a dysfunctional school. You go to a school, you want to meet the head teacher, or you meet the DVC, and you want to certain information. You say, I don't have the power, don't do it. So which means that the authority is centered. Nobody else, apart from the leader, is in charge. Lack of coordination and duplication of procedures is also a dysfunctional school management. Inadequate or slow communication, low morale and productivity, poor leadership, management and communication among others. These are symptoms of dysfunctional school management. Then we have consequences of dysfunctional school management. 1. High rate of indiscipline. Poor policy implementation. Insubordination. Poor research and development. Lack of education services. Willful damage to school property. These are ways we know that a school is not being managed well at all. There is a common myth or common belief among scholars or those who want to become leaders. I call them myths. One of the things people believe that it is commonly believed that to be at the top of school management, you must be connected to powers that be. Imam Madu. For example, if you want to be a vice chancellor, if you don't know any person, you cannot be. If you want to be a principal, it's a myth. It's not true. Your works can make you be there. It is commonly believed that you must pay some money to get to the position of school manager or administrator. It's not true. It's a myth. It is also commonly believed that you need to be super intelligent to be at the top. It's not true. You must acquire all the education to be ahead. It's not true. For you to succeed as a leader, you need all authorities and power from powers that be. That you must know the governor, you must know this person. It's not true. These are all myths. To be a school manager, what you need is adequate education, requisite education, practice, and dedication to duty. Gradually, you get to talk to manage schools. Let's look at charting a new direction for school management in the 21st century. I want to say categorically clear that those things that were being managed in those days are the same thing that is being managed in today's schools. The only difference is technology. If you go to any school, you will see human beings, you will see students, you will see resources, you will see everything that we are being done in those days. But what we are saying these days is that there is need to use technology in managing schools, so that schools will have a global look like those in overseas. They can compete with their counterparts overseas. So some of the principles of school management in the 21st century should be one, principle of vision through mission. A good school manager must have vision through mission. Core values. Principle of accessibility. Principle of accessibility. Gone are the days when leaders will stay in their office and make themselves inaccessible. A principal, a school manager should be accessible to those he or she is leading. A teacher should be able to come to your office and talk with even students. That's what we are saying. That keep your doors wide open, so that children can have access to you, the public can have access to you, staff can have access to you. You'll be accessible. And that leads us to this technology, this phone we are using. If you're a leader, if you're a manager, your phone should be on every time. And when your phone rings, you should answer 24 hours of the day. The accessibility runs through everywhere. It's not only one angle. But you see these days, some leaders make it so impossible for you to get access to them. They will not answer your call. They will not listen to you. If you come to their office, you have to fill a form and stay from morning till night trying to see. It's a dysfunctional school. It's not the right way to manage school. That manager should change. You are there for the public. You are there for the staff. You are there for the children. You are there for everybody. So once you are not accessible to the people you are ruling, forget it, you have failed as a school manager. This time we see a manager, a school manager, when you are moving with policemen, security. If you are not accessible to those you are ruling, if they cannot access you, they cannot stay with you, forget it. You have failed. It's a dysfunctional school management. Another one I want to talk about is humanitarian principle. There are a lot of things I wrote down, how you should apply them one by one. You should apply them. The human relation principle is also what I wrote down. There are ways we should apply them one by one. Accountability and transparency is lacking in our system. People are no longer accountable. When somebody enters a position, he or she sees it as a place to acquire a lot of wealth, not knowing that you are there to represent certain people. And you are accountable to those people who have voted you in or who have made you the manager. So principle of accountability and transparency is what we are saying that should be imbibed in every school. Principle of feedback. Feedback. It is important that you get feedback from those who are ruling. the school you are managing, let them tell you how you are. Don't feel offended. Don't feel annoyed. If you are too harsh, if you are not doing well, let them tell you. Get a feedback. Don't shy away with feedback mechanism. It is very important. It will help you in school management, so that they can call you back when you are not doing well. And if you are doing well, they will tell you you are doing well. So it is also a new principle we should adopt in the 21st century. Because I know in most of our schools, they don't do that feedback. It's not a principle they like. They don't even want to hear how they are doing. Principle of ethics and morality. Principle of ethics and morality should also be seen in our schools, should be practiced in our schools. Principle of using best practices. Best practices. All over the world, there are best practices. If you travel abroad and go to schools abroad, see how they are practicing. See how they are practicing. We know we should use that principle. Let's look at challenges facing school management in the 21st century. From students, lack of proper value, indiscipline, lack of interest in academics, poor use of e-learning skills. From staff, laxity, ineptitude, psychophancy, eye service, cliquism, poor human relationships, placing gain above service, corruption, poor ICT skills. From administration, nepotism, financial recklessness, falsification of data, lack of transparency, poor monitoring of school activities. From government, insecurity in the system, poor budgetary allocation, insufficient funding, lack of provision of adequate facilities. From society, parental interference, religious interference, godfatherism, societal pressures, and societal demands. Recommendations. School manager must de-emphasize and discourage psychopathy in school management. Mediocrity should not be encouraged at the expense of excellence. School manager must welcome and embrace innovations that will move the organizations forward. School manager must be sensitive. School manager must de-emphasize. School manager should know as a leader that management is a process of continuity. Meritocracy should not be sacrificed on the altar of political affiliation or family membership. Rather than compensating family members and friends without ideas and necessary qualifications, the school manager must ensure that capable hands are employed. The school manager must insist on high standard and not bend the rules, no matter who is involved. The school manager must be sensitive to any rising issues around him or her and tackle them immediately. Example, food and herdsmen, insecurity. The school manager must welcome and embrace innovations that move the organization forward, no matter who is introducing it. The school manager must create an accountability forum for him or herself and all those whom he or she has put in position of authority. The school manager must not be insensitive to staff problems and needs. He or she should create strategies to handle them successfully. The school manager must promote peace and inclusiveness in the organization. Example, don't ignore informal groups in the organization, rather make use of them. The school manager must create strategies for people to complain without being victimized. The school manager must plug off all financial leakages. The school manager must promote and encourage staff and students' excellence by creating awards and honor for them. The school manager must redefine his or her own administration. The school manager must be passionate about his or her work. He or she must develop himself or herself through knowledgeable innovation. The school manager must ensure that he or she is successful at the end. Success is not measured by how popular you are before men, but how much you care about others. Success is not measured by how much you take, but how much you give. Success is not measured by your testimony alone, but how many people who testify about you. Success is not just victory, but the amount of opposition you overcame before that victory. Finally, the school manager must be sensitive to the final whistle and be ready for the final whistle to exist. Fame is a vapor, and titles are vacuum. Don't work to please men, rather work to please God, because men will eventually forget all your efforts when the final whistle blows, then God will reward you. In conclusion, it is important to note that in school management, the proof of sincerity and genuineness of our profession are tested. But it is very unfortunate that cowardice, compromise, inefficiency, ineffectiveness, selfishness, partiality are now the bane of 21st century school system. School managers should therefore go beyond school management in their various institutions by taking the word of Muhammad Ali in his book, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." The school manager should always take few cups of love, 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness, 1 quart of laughter, 1 pint of concern, then mix willingness with commitment, and add a lot of hard work and stir it up well. Then spread it on his or her management and serve it to each undeserving person you meet in the school. In school management, the school manager should learn how to spread love to everybody in the school organization. The organization will benefit greatly if managers truly love their employees, and their workers know it. Love is the crucial element in the search for personal and professional success. The greatest leaders are loving leaders. Their followers, friends, and employees know that they have their best interests at heart. Love was not put in your heart to stay. Love is not love till it is given away. Give out love to your employees. Will make you achieve organizational goals, efficiency, high staff productivity, and above all, a successful school management. Once again, I thank the Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles Simone, the University Senate, the Chairman and members of the Inaugural Lecture Committee for giving me the opportunity to deliver my inaugural lecture. The journey to the professorial chair may have been bumpy, but it was not lonely at all. I had many companions, spiritually and physically. I wish to appreciate these people who contributed to my success in various ways. I deeply appreciate the following people that really impacted my life. My family had been very supportive. I want specifically to appreciate my husband, Dr. Ikediugwu, who has been supporting me to get to the peak of my profession since I got married to him. Together we started small, and today God has taken us far. You are my best friend, my husband, my prayer partner, and in fact everything. May God continue to keep you for me. To my children, Jeff, Jennifer, and Jesse, I thank you. Noye, you are wonderful. To my grandson, Tobenna and Chindalo, who were born during this write-up. To my late father, His Royal Highness, Igwe PMC Ojuro, he loved education so much. I had always wanted me to get to the peak of my profession. I have reached the peak of my profession, but you and my mother are no longer here to witness my celebration of my professorial chair. Papa, by grace of God, I have not disappointed you. God has caused me to justify your confidence in me Papa, thank you. To my late mother, Her Royal Highness Maria Ojuro, a virtuous woman, a mother by excellence. I will never forget how, as a child, you sat beside me, teaching me addition and subtraction on that small blackboard called slate. I will never forget how you took very good care of my children when I was pursuing my academic career from one university to another. Miss, as we fondly called you, although you are no longer alive to witness my inaugural lecture, I remain indebted to you because your solid support and training physically and spiritually helped me to get to this height. To my late sister, Oga Makemehelu, you dedicated your entire life serving me and my children. I thank you immensely. My other siblings, Dr. Ifeanyi Ojuro, Dr. Goziem Ojuro, Dr. Nnamdi Ojuro, Engineer Okechukwu, and Dr. Nonso Ojuro are all giants in their own rights. You are wonderful. They urge me on at every point. I appreciate their steadfast love and truthfulness. May God reward you abundantly. On my journey in school management career, I wish to appreciate the following, starting from Professor Mrs. Ali Simbo, whose life and courage inspired me a lot at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. The late Professor Ezo Ocha, the late Professor Nduanya, and my mentor, Professor G.O. Abov, University of Lagos, and my seniors and junior colleagues in the Department of School Management. To the Senate Inaugural Lecture Committee, under the able leadership of Professor Wakwe, I heartily salute you for this scheduling and necessary assistance. To my respected and accomplished postgraduate students, present and former, who are my co-researchers, too numerous to mention, I appreciate you all. I also appreciate the following friends: Professor Rob Ebuatu, Mr. and Mrs. Gerard Ezari. I salute my former governor, Mbadinuju, Dr. Chiwoke Mbadinuju, who appointed me the first executive chairman of Anambra, female executive chairman of Anambra State. I appreciate my spiritual fathers, Right Reverend Emmanuel Onisachukwuma, the Archbishop of Enugu Province, and Archbishop Alexander Ibezim, Bishop of Oka Diocese, and retired Archbishop Anikwemwa. I also thank the members of the Diocesan Education Board. I appreciate all the staff of the Faculty of Education, especially my former deans, my heads of departments, and my colleagues. I also appreciate the head of department, Professor Chinedu Aduba, and members of the Department of School Management. I wish to acknowledge the presence of the members of Council of All University Oka, whom I work with. Thank you all for coming, and may God bless you. Finally, the Lord God Almighty, the Ancient of Days, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the only true God, you alone are worthy of all my trust, worship, adoration, and praise. Because in all ways you have proven to me that you are faithful, dependable, compassionate, and above all, that you love me with an everlasting love. I wonder what the journey through life so far would have been without you. You give me strength when I'm weak, and when I'm shaking, you do not allow me to be shattered. When the trials of life become overwhelming, you take over and lead me through to victory. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Your presence has always been with me. My life is a loud testimony that you are alive and good. When I remember all that you have done in my life, I can only say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for listening.
The Vice Chancellor of Azikiwe University, may I have the honor and pleasure to invite you to, in our tradition, decorate the 56th Inaugural Lecturer, Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu. Mrs. Chizoba, can you please, the Vice Chancellor, sir?
Professor Nkechi Ikediugwu, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, University, Professor Charles Ikediugwu, and the Senate of Untitled University, I decorate you as the 56th Inaugural Lecturer of Untitled University.
Thank you very much, Professor Informa. 3 minutes vote of thanks to our numerous listeners, both online. This was an hybrid program. Professor Informa, please, 3 minutes vote of thanks.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the DVC Academy, Professor F.J.C. Odibo, the inaugural lecturer of this day, Professor Princess Nkechi Perpetual, all those listening online, including the DVC administration and all the numerous listeners who participated in this program worldwide, and the members of the inaugural lecture committee, the MICTU, and all those who have witnessed this August event. We want to say thank you very much. We appreciate you for making this day a success. This is the first time that we are embarking on this virtual and hybrid presentation of the inaugural lecture. We want to thank you for being here with us. Above all, we give God all the glory for making this day a success. And we say congratulations once more to our wonderful educationist, princess, and beautiful lady, Professor Princess Nkechi Perpetual. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, listeners and watchers. This is the beginning of a new era in the deliverance of inaugural lectures in Untitled University. Professor Nkechi, you have blessed the trail. Thank you, the members of the inaugural lecture committee, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. University of
Recession in reverse order. This is first, followed by the inaugural lecturer,